You could almost replace that with your coffee, a Connecticut Shade cigar, morning deck.
Warm it up a little bit.
Yeah. This is a problem for morning alcoholics. Indeed.
Happy Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Seasons are turning out there.
Season's turning. A little chilly.
Cooler.
Chilly.
Yeah.
Dark. I noticed you observing that I did a little.
You made some movements,
I made a little bit of movement.
You took the Jacob's Pardon off the shelf.
Yeah, they'll find its way back on the shelf. I'm just, I got bottles sitting over here, bottles sitting over here.
So we're running out of counter space over there.
I'm out of real estate, so it's certain bottles are jockeying for position. Some just won't make the cut. I have a kill the bottle session at some point.
You're gonna have a lot more than one.
That's fair. That's fair. Welcome to the cave. I'm Tom.
I'm Derrick.
That's Derrick. And we got a good one. I actually got a kind of a creative one.
Yeah?
Yeah, so this stemmed out of my so a little story time.
Yeah.
New Hampshire does an annual distillery showcase.
Yes.
And I've gone pretty much every year. And the first couple of years it was really phenomenal. Some really high-end spirits, some $500 Grand Patron tequila, some 21-year Glenfiddich, some 21 Glenmorangie. I mean, they brought out all the good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Over the years, they've created this VIP room, which you got to pay money for. Extra money, correct. And then you could only get some of the good stuff in that room.
Yep.
And I think now, even over the years of that, even what's in there has kind of dwindled in terms of... Now, granted, I might be coming from a snobbish perspective.
You've been exposed to a lot.
I've been exposed to a lot of things. So maybe they're all nice bottles to the common man.
Sure.
To me, it's like it was a meh kind of experience. I always have a great time. I see a lot of people. I meet a lot of people. So from a social aspect, it's a blast. But from a whiskey tasting, it's just not what it used to be. So I'll still enjoy it. I still like to go.
I went to the wine one last year.
Okay.
I felt like I was in a race.
It is.
Because you got 3 hours and you're trying to see all these places and try all these things. And so it takes some of the fun out of it.
It does. So it starts at 6 o'clock, ends at 8:30. And at 8 o'clock, most of the tables are trying to
go home,
wrap it up. And it's a huge room. It's a massive room. I couldn't tell you how many tables. I mean, pretty much all your spirit companies were there offering something to taste. Again, in my opinion, it was a little bit more mainline products than, exclusive stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But there's definitely a lot of, not just whiskey, but whiskey, tequila, vodka.
That's everything.
It's everything distilled, right? So it's not a beer or wine, but it's everything distilled. It's a mob of people. It gets hot in that room, as big as that room is. It does get hot, but it is a good time. I almost didn't go because I missed out on the VIP ticket, and to me, if I'm not getting the VIP ticket, then it kind of degrades it even more. But I managed to get one last minute. I literally bought the last one online because I handed the phone to my wife. I said, "See if you can buy one," and she couldn't. So she got a common man pass, which is fine.
Yeah.
She doesn't drink,
right?
So we just paid for her to just arm in arm me.
Yep.
Normally my premium ticket would allow me to escape the line, but I stood in line with the bride. Like I said, I'm reading through the catalog of what's available.
And I'm mapping out your plan.
Yeah. So get in there, drink a lot of whiskey, shake a lot of hands, meet a lot of people, great time. And today's New to the Cave is kind of brought to you by the New Hampshire Distillery. So they got me on one thing.
Okay.
So I did taste it, and I thought it was intriguing. I went down the wormhole a little bit on this bottle, and not only is it going to be what's new to the cave, but it's going to be what we're going to rate later on.
Cool.
It is the Bib and Tucker Gold Roast Bourbon, which is a 6-year bourbon, or Tennessee whiskey, depending on how we want to classify things, finished in coffee beans.
Well, that's interesting.
So, obviously, I did have my little sample, and, tasting's a loose term. Sample, yes. And so obviously I did a little homework on this bottle. I also did a little homework on Bib and Tucker in general. So that's what I chose, not only for what's new to the cave, because it is, but it's also going to be our feature.
We're going to drink. All right.
So we're going to drink a little Bib and Tucker.
All right.
So first thing we want to do is, who the hell is Bib?
I was going to say.
And who's Tucker, right? Who is this Bib and Tucker? So Bib and Tucker. So I brought out this right here. This was been on the shelf for a little while. So not the first time I've had this. This is the Bib and Tucker 6-year, or they call it the Classic 6 nowadays. Mm-hmm. So this would be the base of what we're going to get into later.
Yep.
It's a 92 proof. They got some batch numbers and whatnot, but the story behind Bib and Tucker. This was a brand created by a company called 3 Badge out of Sonoma, California. So they created this brand in 2014. So it's a new brand, right? And they went with one of the things they touted as the bottle style, because it's pre-prohibition, or really prohibition. It's medicinal style bottle.
Oh, okay.
So it is a cool little bottle. I mean, the cork's just sticking out, and kind of looks like what you would drink medicine out of in 1925, right?
Yep.
So that's the backstory on the bottle. Yeah. So they sourced the whiskey. So they're out of Sonoma, California, and they're sourcing the whiskey out of a distillery in Tennessee. And so it's distilled in Tennessee and bottled and distilled in Tennessee, although 2 different locations in Tennessee. In 2017, they sold it to a company called Deutsch Spirits, Wine and Spirits, Family Wine and Spirits, Deutsch Family Wine and Spirits. And they're a conglomerate. They've got their hands in a lot of cookie jars, mostly wine, including Yellowtail.
Okay, I recognize that
one. Joseph Carr, and there was another big one too. There's another couple of big wine, but that's mostly with their portfolio. They got a couple things in here. Bib and Tucker is in their portfolio, so they bought Bib and Tucker and all the rights to Bib and Tucker in 2017, and they still own them today. So let's go back to where it's distilled. Nobody really knows.
We had one of those the other day.
Yeah. So this is now we do know by law they have to disclose where they distill it on the bottle. Right.
So that just means like the state.
The state.
Right.
Correct. So thanks to legal definition, we know that this was distilled in Tennessee. We also know, because they put it on here, it was bottled in Tennessee. Now, there's a gray area how many distilleries are in Tennessee, but they're guessing somewhere between 25 and 40, whether you want to count vodka distilleries, just whiskey distilleries. But we know, obviously, Tennessee mostly for Jack Daniels and their Tennessee whiskey. So the internet sleuths, we went down the wormhole of the internet sleuths on this.
Yeah.
All right, because I'm trying to find out what's in this damn bottle. The internet sleuths have determined that they're pretty sure that the mystery distillery is a place called Cascades Hollow Distillery, or otherwise known as George Dickel.
Okay,
so a lot of whiskey enthusiasts are very familiar with George Dickel. A little side note on George Dickel. George Dickel, I believe, was a German. He came here in the late 1800s, was a merchant, and started also sourcing whiskey and labeling it before he actually started producing his own whiskey at this very distillery. The distillery went closed up for Prohibition and didn't reopen until the 1950s. It is now back producing Dickel. Mr. Dickel has since moved on.
Yeah, sure.
Be a great man.
Yeah.
And is now under the Diageo umbrella. And Diageo owns, Oban, Lagavulin.
Okay.
Diageo's global monstrosity. They own pretty much everything. So why do we think this is distilled at the same distillery as Dickel? Well, that's a good question. But a lot of these internet sleuths, and I really went down this fun wormhole, they all determined that they believe this is the distillery that Bib and Tucker's made at.
Yep.
So much to the point that they believe it's the same stuff.
Not even different.
Just repackaged. They're saying it's got the same batch build. Now, they're different age statements. There are slightly variants and proofs.
Yeah.
Right? Let's be our judges.
Where are we going to start here?
We're going to start with the Bib.
Okay.
It is a cool little medicinal bottle.
It is. I like the old-fashioned kind of bottles.
All right, so I'm gonna screw this up already, but I'm not so sure it's gonna matter. So let's see. So the outside will be the bib. The inside is the decal. But I don't think it really matters. We're just here to determine if we have any proximity, right?
You're gonna break one of those.
One of these days.
Was that the goal?
One
there?
of these days is gonna happen.
All right, so
all right,
I'm going bib first.
All right, nose on the bib. Just nose it. And I'm gonna nose the decal. I'll let you comment first.
They're pretty similar. I would say that the bib's got a little proof to its nose, a little more proof to its nose. It gives me a little of that, wake you up kind of.
Well, your nose vapor. Your nose may be different than mine because I wouldn't tell the difference.
Not a lot, but
give it a taste. All right, clearly corn dominant.
Yeah, but smooth.
Yes.
More brown sugar.
Yes. Well, part of that is their claim to fame is what Tennessee whiskey again touts is that charcoal finish, that charcoal filtration.
I wouldn't be surprised with a little wheat in it. Like real similar. I like the Bib and Tucker for a reason maybe just be a little more mellow.
Okay.
Whether it's processing, aging, whatever. Flavor profile is pretty similar.
Flavor profile to me is damn near spot on. Like, if we weren't having this conversation, you swap glasses with me, there's no way I would pick it up, the difference. The Bib and Tucker, the Dickel is 100 proof. The Bib and Tucker's 92.
Still pretty close.
Very close, but maybe if you're picking up any of the nuances, there it is. So, but I'm convinced off of that test right there alone. But man, if these things aren't the same, they're
very similar.
They're closer than cousins. They're brother and sister.
I'm actually about to taste the proofiness, the proof slightly. Where this is a little more mellow. This got a little more pop to it.
So the George Dickel is advertised as a 13-year, where this is a 6-year.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely didn't pick up. I didn't pick up any aging difference.
No,
maturity difference at all.
And I thought the Bib and Tucker was probably more consistent, more smoother.
Okay. But that's why a lot of times a lot of whiskey people think this is the best value on the shelf. So this is a $45 bottle, 100 proof, 13-year-old.
Yeah, and that's
whiskey.
Pretty good.
Well, this one's $5 more.
Yeah.
So
half the age.
Yeah. So there you go. And again, if this is coming from it's the same. If this is the same mash bills on the same distillery, and essentially the same juice, then again we're not getting. I'm not getting any age difference. I'm not getting any variance from one to the other. Definitely not getting a $5 or $10 swing or anything like that. So there's your value on whiskey.
Yeah, there you go.
Dickel, Bottle and Bond. So we'll move that one aside. Get back to the bib. So this is obviously a source whiskey from an unknown distillery, although we have that hunch.
Yep.
But I never asked the question. I never answered the question, who the hell is Bib and who the hell is Tucker?
Yeah.
Ain't nobody.
Just a marketing campaign?
Bib and Tucker was a phrase from the 19th century of wearing your best clothes.
Okay.
Your Sunday best.
All right.
Make sure you put on your Bib and Tucker. So there's your Bib and Tucker story.
All right. Well, it makes sense from the kind of the bottle shape, and they're trying to go back to that kind of older flair.
So ultimately want to, by going down this little session here a little bit, I mean, ultimately, some company in Sonoma decided to call a company in Tennessee, make me a secret batch of something.
Yep.
I don't care how you produce it.
Yep.
I'll get it on a fancy bottle with a neat little cork. We'll give it a fancy little name.
Well, I mean,
and we'll get $5 or $10 more for it.
Yeah, I mean, they probably went out and tasted it, whatever, and made some decisions there, but sure.
Sure. So, when are we going to do this? We can just, take a trip to Kentucky, sample something. Actually, we'd rather go to Scotland. Can we do this in Scotland? Yeah. Right? And we'll call it Derrick and Tom's.
I'm sure.
Tom and Derrick's.
I'm sure that for the right amount of money, we can do that.
I'm sure we can. As a matter of fact, I know we can. So, we don't know exactly where it's from, but I got my...
It's pretty good, actually. I'm not a huge bourbon guy, but I thought it was pretty good.
So, also funny is that, I get into words and phrases.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Daniels refuses to call themselves a bourbon. And heaven forbid you find a Jack Daniels drinker, a loyalist, and don't call that bourbon. That is Tennessee whiskey. Well, I got news for you, loyalists. By definition, it's bourbon.
Yeah.
They only want to call it Tennessee whiskey. We wanted to separate themselves from the crowd.
Give them some distinction.
Give them some distinction. I don't blame them for that. But they do use what they call the Lincoln process, which is really just charcoal filtration, which the rest of the bourbon industry doesn't use that. And a lot of the Tennessee distilleries use that. So, and this being one of them. So, Dickel also calls themselves Tennessee whiskey, although it can be called bourbon. They use the word bourbon. They don't use Tennessee whiskey at all. So,
but that might be also just they also want to separate themselves from those people who are trying to find out where it's coming from.
Well, again, as I will continue to talk about, it's the words and the phrases and the marketing aspect of what they want to say, don't say, avoid, slither through. So now, try some coffee beans. Let's get a new glass in here. So this is Bib and Tucker, aged 6 years. So I'm there's no reason to believe otherwise.
Same base material.
Same base material.
Yep.
Except now they're taking this, and this is not flavored whiskey. This isn't, define the definition of being infused, but much like a whiskey or a scotch gets finished into a sherry barrel, right? Sometimes there may be even leftover sherry in the bottom of the barrel that just happens to get in the mix.
But it's drawing it out of the wood.
Correct, but it's drawn out of the wood. So they're going to take this after being aged 6 years in the barrels. They're putting it into a stainless steel vessel, and they're dropping whole beans in it. So it's not ground up coffee or anything like that. And another important step that they're doing is it's cold. It's actually slightly cooler than room temp. So they say that if you were to do it hot, you're going to pull the caffeine out of the beans and the bitterness out of the beans. But if you do it from a cold, you're just going to get the oils coming from the bean. You're not going to get the caffeine, and you're not going to get the bitterness. So they're taking their aged whiskey, they're dropping it into a stainless steel vessel, putting a bunch of coffee beans in it.
Putting it in a cooler somewhere.
Putting it in a cooler somewhere, for lack of better terms, and aging it for a few days to a couple of weeks. So it's a short window. Yep. Yeah. I would imagine if you, left that whiskey in the coffee beans for too long, the needle would move too far.
Yeah, potentially.
And it would be more, hot coffee, so to speak. By hot, I mean proofy coffee. So, any preconceived expectations here?
Well, I like coffee, so I'm leaning toward the positive.
Well,
it's funny. Conceptual stuff.
I can't stand coffee. I hate coffee. I don't like the smell of coffee. I like caffeine. Definitely darker.
Maybe darker.
Oh yeah. I do like caffeine, but never been a coffee person. But ironically, I love coffee notes in whiskey, and I don't know why.
I think there are a lot of synergies between coffee notes and whiskey notes, so I can see where they could work out. Some people like whiskey in their coffee.
That's true. Let's get a nose. for when I'm getting strong coffee.
See, I don't get a lot of coffee. I do get like not like brewed coffee, but I do get a little coffee bean.
Well, isn't that coffee?
No, once you make coffee out of it, it smells different. But if you open the like the unground bag of just coffee beans,
all right,
it has one smell.
I got
And then you grind it and you make coffee, it has a different smell. So I'll give you a subtle coffee bean.
Getting a little picky over there with the coffee notes. I am getting, I suppose. Yeah, it's like if you just open a bag before it went into the coffee machine, and I don't know this from a guy that makes coffee, but occasionally at the cigar bar, I gotta, fill the pot and make another batch. So I guess that's where I'm getting my recall from.
And that's probably more of the kind of like the roasted shell smell of the coffee bean.
I like the nose. I'm not enamored with it. I'm not in love with it. But I love it for its uniqueness.
I get a weird like finish note on the nose.
Maybe like a dark bitter chocolate.
Yeah, maybe bitter. Bitter's not quite the right word, but yeah, it has a darkness to it.
Yeah. So extreme. What's the ingredient in chocolate that makes it a 93% or a 96%?
Cocoa.
Yeah. That just makes it. That's what I'm getting here.
Mm-hmm. Lots more coffee flavor.
I think I'm gonna. Yeah, I mean, I get coffee flavor, and I definitely get coffee flavor. But you said lots more coffee flavor. I thought the nose spoke coffee strong.
Oh, so for me,
they both speak coffee.
For me, it's way more on the flavor side than the nose side, and definitely compared to.
Ooh, that lingering after finish. Yeah, after a couple of moments,
The coffee part stays.
The coffee
with you.
part is staying.
Stays with you.
Yeah, now I feel like I maybe I didn't drink my coffee, but I had a sip of the aroma of yours. It's definitely interesting.
I think it smooths it even more. Like it's very drinkable. Although I think the coffee flavor might be.
This is a problem for morning alcoholics. I mean, you could almost replace that with your coffee, a Connecticut Shade cigar, morning deck,
warm it up a little bit.
Yeah. And we're not that far from there. Anybody out there that smokes cigars in the morning with coffee, I want you to try this because I think this is in that wheelhouse.
Mm. Yeah, if you want a little bourbon in your coffee, should go nicely with that. I think I would struggle to have more than a glass of it, though.
I would agree.
The coffee it kind of builds every sip. Like it kind of builds on you, stays with you longer each sip. It's good. It's novel.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want to sit down in the bar and have a couple of these. I don't think.
So it's novel in the sense that it's almost like a maple bourbon.
Yeah.
Now, I would like to separate them. Your maple bourbons are mostly flavored bourbons. Right? There's an additive in there to get the maple. And there appears to be no additives here. This is a natural process.
Yeah, they're not just squirting in some other
correct
fluid to add the flavor profile. But I mean, they are letting it soak in coffee beans.
Sure, that's no different than letting it soak in oak.
No.
So, where a maple bourbon is not a bourbon more often than not. It was, it's been modified enough. But go back to novelty to the point. I like a maple bourbon in the moment. Oh, that was cool. That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Love it with a piece of bacon.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Sausage sandwich.
Yeah, absolutely. But to have more than one, no.
So I want to have the coffee. After these beans were filtered back out of the bourbon,
oh yeah,
I want to dry those coffee beans out, grind them up, and see what that tastes like.
So that's great. Oh, so they're doing this with a local coffee roaster in Tennessee. So why isn't that local? Why do they go back in unison and it's basically now make a coffee?
I don't know
that was soaking in bourbon.
Maybe they ruined the beans in that process. Like maybe you can't re-dry them after this process. But it'd be interesting to see what the concoction is after the
Yeah,
fact.
we're gonna need a coffee roaster's expert opinion on that one. Can we take those bourbon soaked coffee beans and then go
So basically re-dry them.
re-dry them and make a pot of coffee?
Yeah.
And basically now have bourbon infused coffee.
That might be good. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, it would be interesting. I mean, that's recycling at its best, right? I mean, it's a green movement. Right there.
No part goes wasted.
Yeah. So what do you? That's your thought. So it's novel. It's good. You appreciate the experience.
Yeah, so I mean, if you had a coffee lover in your family, you want to give them an interesting gift, this might be an interesting bottle. Or for a tasting, hell of a bottle, because it's going to throw people way off. Like,
No question. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're not lying. I mean, it is coffee.
and I think from a pure brand standpoint, it's something to talk about. Like from their standpoint, it gives them some distinction. It's something to add to the portfolio.
They got me. I mean, all the things I tasted. Now, granted, this might have been one of the few things that I had never had before in that setting. But it got me. I tasted a little bit of this, and I had that little bit of, wow, this really got some coffee flavor to it.
And if you kind of consider yourself a connoisseur and you're already tried 300 whiskeys, this will be interesting because it's new.
Sure.
Probably, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I hadn't tried that before. So from that standpoint, if you're well into the list of things that are produced, then this is something you've never had before.
You may also want to go try, because they're not the first who've done this. Actually, Jameson. I don't know if they're the first either, but Jameson also does a similar process, and they call it Jameson Cold Brew.
Oh,
And
interesting.
I don't know if they're still producing that, but that was an additional Jameson that they tried. And I don't know. I mean, I've never tried that. And again, I am not your coffee connoisseur, so I will put my hand down in terms of anything coffee expert related. But I don't know if I think the Irish whiskey at Jameson would just totally get washed out. At least the bourbon kind of wants to fight a little bit.
Yeah, that could happen. I mean, much more of a coffee overtone with an Irish whiskey. But from a bourbon standpoint, though, I still think this was pretty mellow.
So next time, I don't know, we'll probably get back into your wheelhouse a little bit. This is a little off course. This is a little off kilter for both of us.
This is good.
I enjoyed it. It was a good time. And we'll get back on course with something next week.
Cool.
A little bit more.
I think you promised me something top shelf a couple weeks ago, so.
You remembered that?
I remember everything.
You son of a bitch. I think we're booked for the next few weeks. Well, thanks for coming to the cave. If you're into coffee and you like bourbon, go give this a try.
Give it a shot.
It's definitely worth the shot. The $50, $45 price point. So we'll give it a thumbs up for that. And other than that, I'm Tom.
I'm Derrick.
That's Derrick.
We'd love to hear from you.
Thanks for coming to the cave. Got any suggestions? Give a holler.
Cheers. They weren't collecting taxes on it yet.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. They were running NASCARs.
Is it the Shetland pony that you're talking about in the 1800s?
No. Maybe we should do a video on this. The story of how NASCAR is.
No, I get that.
Oh, okay.
But that was Prohibition.
Yes.
This was way before they had cars. So
no question.
It would have been ponies.
Yes. It would have been ponies. Yes. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm the slow one here. My bad.